Be satisfied. Let us be satisfied.
Then follow me and give me audience, friends. Cassius, you go into the street and part the numbers. Those that will hear me speak, let them stay here. Those that will follow Cassius, go with him. And public reasons shall be rendered of Caesar's death.
I will hear Brutus speak.
I will hear Cassius and compare their reasons, when severally we bear them rendered.
The noble Brutus is ascended. Silence.
Be patient till the last. Roman countrymen and lovers, bear me for my cause and be silent, that you may hear. Believe me for mine honor, and have respect to mine honor, that you may believe. Censure me in your wisdom and awake your senses, that you may better judge. If there be any in this assembly, any dear friend of Caesar's, to him I say that Brutus's love to Caesar was no less than his. It was then that friend demand why Brutus rose against Caesar. This is my answer, not that I love Caesar less, but that I loved Rome more. Had you rather Caesar were living and die all slaves, than that Caesar were dead to live all free men? As Caesar loved me, I weep for him as he was fortunate. I rejoice at it as he was silent. I honor him, but as he was ambitious, I slew him. There is tears for this love, joy for his fortune, honor for his valor, and death for his ambition. Who is here so base that would be a bondman? If any speak for him, I have offended. Who is here so rude that would not be a Roman? If any speak for him, have I offended. Who is here so vile that will not love his country? If any speak for him, I have offended. I pause for a reply.
None, Brutus, none.
Then none, I have offended. I have done no more to Caesar than you shall do to Brutus. The question of his death is enrolled in the Capitol, his glory not extenuated wherein he was worthy, nor his offense unforced, for which he suffered death. Here comes his body, mourned by Mark Antony, who, though he had no hand in his death, shall receive the benefit of his dying. A place in his commonwealth, of which you shall not? Well, this I depart, that, as I slew my best lover for the good of Rome, I had the same dagger for myself, when it shall place for my country to need my death.
Live, Brutus! Live! Live!
Bring him with triumph home unto his house.
Give him a statue with his ancestor.
Let him be Caesar.
Shall be crowned in Brutus.
We'll bring him to his house with shouts and clamors.
My countrymen.
Peace! Silence! Brutus speaks.
He's ho.
Good country.
Peace! Silence! Brutus speaks.
He's ho.
1.
Good countrymen, let me depart alone, and for my sake stay here with Antony. Do grace to Caesar's curse, and grace his speech, tending to Caesar's glories, which Mark Antony, by our permission, is allowed to make. I do entreat you, not a man depart, save I alone. Still Antony have spoke.
Stay ho, and let us hear Mark Antony.
Let him go into the public chair. We'll hear him. Noble Antony, go up.
For Brutus' sake, I am beholding to you. What does he say of Brutus?
He says for Brutus' sake, he finds himself beholding to us all.
To our hearer, best he speak nor harm, or Brutus hear.
This Caesar was a tyrant.
Nay, that's certain. We are blessed that Rome is rid of him.
You will not let us hear him.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is oft interred their bones. So let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus hath told you Caesar was ambitious. If it were so, it was a grievous fault, and grievously hath Caesar answered it. Leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man. So are they all honorable men. Come I to speak in Caesar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful and just to me. But Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. He hath brought captives home to Rome, whose ransoms the general coffers fill. Did this in Caesar seem ambitious? When the poor have cried, Caesar hath wept. Ambition should be made of sterner stuff. Yet Brutus says he is ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. You all did see how in Lupercalia I thrice presented him a kingly crown, and thrice he refused. Was this ambition? Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and sure, he is an honorable man. I speak not to disprove what Brutus spoke, but here I am to speak what I do know. But here, you all did love him once, not without cause. Cause withholds you to mourn for him. O judgment, thou art to Brutus beasts, and men have lost their reason. Bear with me. My heart is a coffin there with Caesar, and I must pause till it come back to me.
Methinks there is much reason in his sayings.
If thou consider rightly of the matter, Caesar has had great wrong.
Has he masters? I fear there will be a worse come in his place.
Mark D his words, he would not take the crown. Therefore, 'tis certain he was not ambitious.
If it be found so, some will dear abide it.
Poor soul, his eyes are red as fire with weeping.
There's not a nobler man in Rome than Antony.
Now mark him. He begins again to speak.
But yesterday the word of Caesar might have stood against the world. Now lies he here, and none so poor to do him reverence. O masters, if I were disposed to stir your hearts and minds to mutiny and rage, I should do Brutus wrong and Cassius wrong, who you all know are honorable men. I will do them no wrong. I rather choose to wrong the dead, to wrong myself and you, than I will wrong such honorable men. If there is a parchment with the seal, but here is the parchment of seal of Caesar. I have found it in his closet. 'Tis his will. Let but the commons hear the testament, which, pardon me, I do not mean to read. And they would go and kiss Caesar's dead wound, and dip the napkins in their sacred blood. Ye beg a hair from memory, and dying mention in it with their will, bequeathing it a rich legacy under the issue.
We'll hear the will. Read it, Mark Antony.
The will.
We will hear Caesar's will.
Have patience, gentle friends, I must not read it. It does not meet you know how Caesar loved you. You are not wood, you are not stone, but men. And being men, hearing the will of Caesar, it will inflame you, it will make you mad. 'Tis good you know not you are his heirs, for if you should, oh, what would come of it?
Read the will. We'll hear it, Antony. You shall read us the will, Caesar's will.
Will you be patient? Will you stay a while? I have earshot myself to tell you of it. I fear I wrong the honorable men whose daggers have stabbed Caesar. I do fear it.
They were traitors, honorable men.
The will, the testament.
They were villains, murderers. The will, read the will.
You compel me then to read the will? Let him make a ring about the course of Caesar, and let me show you him that made the will. Shall I descend, and will you give me leave?
Come down.
Descend.
You shall have leave.
A ring, stand round.
Stand from the hearse. Stand from the body.
Nay, press not so upon me. Stand far off.
Stand back. Room, bear back.
If you have tears, prepare to shed them now. You all do know this mantle. I remember the first time ever Caesar put it on. 'Twas a summer evening in the tent, the day he overcame Nervi. In this place Cassius' dagger ran through. See what a rent that Avius Casa made. Through this the well-beloved Brutus stabbed, and as he was plucked his curse away, mark how the blood of Caesar followed it, as rushing out the doors to be resolved. If Brutus so unkindly knocked or no, for Brutus, as you know, was Caesar's angel. Judge, O your gods, how dearly Caesar loved him. This was the most unkindest cut of all, for when noble Caesar saw him stabbed, his heart burst. Gratitude more strong than traitor's arms quite vanquished him. Then bursting his mighty heart, and in his mantle muffling his face, even at the base of Pompey's statue, which all the while ran with blood, great Caesar fell. Oh, there was a fall, my countrymen. Then you and all of us fell down there. Whistled, bloody treason flourished over us. Oh, now you weep, and I perceive you feel the dint of pity. These are gracious drops, kind souls, but you weep when you were but behold. Our Caesar's venture wounded. Look you here himself marred as you see his traitors.
Spectacle.
O noble Caesar.
O woeful day.
O traitors, villains.
O mostly bloody sight.
We will be revenged.
Stay, countrymen.
Peace, there. Hear the noble Antony.
We'll hear him. We'll follow him. We'll die with him.
Good friends, sweet friends, let me not stir you up to such a flood of mutiny. That they that have done this deed are honorable. What private griefs they have at last I know not, that made them do it. They are wise and honorable, and will no doubt with reasons answer you. I came not, friends, to steal away your hearts. I am no orator as Brutus is, but as you all know me, a plain, blunt man, that loved my friend, and they knew full well that gave me public leave to speak to him, for I have neither right, nor worth, nor words, action, no utterance, nor the power of speech to stir man's blood. I only speak right on. I tell you that which you yourselves know. Show your sweet Caesar's ruins, poor, dumb mouths, and bid them speak for me. But were I Brutus, and Brutus Antony, there were an Antony, would ruffle up your spirits and put it in tongue in every word of Caesar, that I should move the stones of Rome to rise a mutiny.
Mutiny.
We'll burn the house of Brutus.
Away then. Come, seek the conspirators.
Yet hear me, countrymen, yet hear me speak.
Peace, ho!
Hear Antony, most noble Antony.
Why, friends, you go to do what you know not what. Wherein hath Caesar thus deserved your loves? Alas, you know not. I must tell you then, you have forgot the will I told you of.
Most true, the will. Let's stay and hear the will.
Here is the will, and under Caesar's seal, to every Rome citizen he gives, to every several man 75 drachmas.
Most noble Caesar, or revenge his death.
O royal Caesar.
Hear me with patience.
Peace, ho!
Moreover, he hath left you all his walks, his private arbors, and newly planted orchard on this side Tiber. He hath left them for you, and to your heirs forever common pleasures. To walk abroad and recreate yourself here with Caesar, when comes such another.
Never. Come away. We'll burn his body in the holy place. And with the brand's fire, the traitors' houses, take up the body.
Go fetch fire.
Pluck down benches.
Pluck down forms, windows, anything.
Now let it work. Mischief thou art afoot. Take that, what course thou wilt. How now, fellow?
Sir, Octavia come already to old Rome.
Where is he?
He and Letipus are at Caesar's house.
And thither I will straiten to visit him. He comes upon a wish. Fortune is merry, and the mood will give us anything.
I heard him say Brutus and Cassius are like great madmen through the gates of Rome.
Be like they had some notice of the people, how I moved them. Bring me to Octavius.
I dreamt tonight that I did feast with Caesar, and then things unluckily charge my fantasy. I have no will to wander forth of doors, yet something leads me forth.
What is your name? Whither are you going?
Where do you dwell? Are you a married man or a bachelor?
Answer every man directly, aye, and briefly.
Aye, and wisely. Aye, and truly. Where you best?
What is my name? Where am I going? Where do I dwell? Am I a married man or a bachelor? Then to answer every man directly and briefly, wisely and truly. Wisely, I say, I am a bachelor.
That's as much as to they say they are fools that marry. You'll bear me a bang for that, I fear. Proceed directly.
Directly, I'm going to Caesar's funeral.
As a friend or an enemy?
As a friend.
That matter is answered directly.
Where you're dwelling? Briefly.
I dwell by the capital.
Your name, sir, truly?
Truly, my name is Cinna. Wait, truly, my name is Cinna.
Tear him to pieces, he's a conspirator.
I am Cinna the poet. I am Cinna the poet.
Tear him for his bad verses. Tear him for his bad verses.
I am not Cinna the conspirator.
It is no matter. His name is Cinna. Pluck his name out of his heart and turn him going. Tear him. Tear him. Come, brands, ho, firebrands, to Brutus, to Cassius, burn all, some to Decius' home, some to Cassius, some to Ligarius. Away, go.
I am Cinna the poet. I'm Cinna the poet.
Enter servant. Dang it, we don't have a servant!